I'm Norman Fortenberry, Chief Executive Officer of Great Minds in STEM, and it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce you to our guest, Dr. Juan E. Gilbert, the Andrew Banks Family Preeminence Endowed Professor and Chair of Computer and Information Science and Engineering Department at the University of Florida. Among his many honors, he most recently is the recipient of the National Medal of Technology and Innovation by President Biden, and has been elected a fellow of IEEE. He is the PI or co-PI on projects with total funding of $31.4 million and is the author or co-author of 81 journal publications and 177 refereed conference papers, as well as 20 books or book chapters, as well as 4 patents and patent applications. And he has given more than 334 invited talks and keynotes. He has been the major professor for 6 postdoctoral fellows, 35 doctoral recipients, and 63 master's degree recipients. He is an eminent teacher, scholar, and humanitarian. Professor Gilbert agreed to take some time today to share his views on making the transition from associate professor to full professor. But before we get to those details, I think it would be helpful for us to get to know a little bit more about him as a person. And so please, Dr. Gilbert, Professor Gilbert, tell us a little bit more about your background and the experiences that led you to where you currently are.
Thank you, Norman. Certainly. I'm originally from a place called Hamilton, Ohio, and I am the first in my family to go to college. I'm one of 4 siblings, 2 older brothers, a younger sister. And I went to college at Miami University in Ohio, my undergrad. When I got there, I was a chemistry major. I had opportunities to go to other places. I had athletic scholarships, but I decided to take being 5'8". I didn't think I was going to be in the NBA. So I decided to take the academic scholarship at Miami University. And I was a chemistry major. So freshman year, I took advanced chemistry and was doing very well, so much so that a teaching assistant, one of the TAs, graduate TAs, pulled me aside and said, Juan, you're doing very well in chemistry. You're going to be successful here. You're going to graduate. You're going to go to grad school. You're going to do. I said, wait a minute. Go where? He said, grad school. That's what we do in chemistry. I said, wait a minute. You mean I got to go to school again? I thought you went to college to get a job. So I changed my major to systems analysis or computer science and to avoid going to graduate school because I knew I could get a job. And so when I did that, I actually won a scholarship, which came with an internship at NCR Corporation in Dayton, Ohio. So again, I'm first in my family to go to college. We didn't know much about college. I just knew I was supposed to do it to better my life, and let alone grad school. So I went to this internship, first day on the job. They gave me stuff to do. I got it done. I said, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. They said, no, you got to sit around and look busy. I said, wait a minute. I got everything done. So Norman, I was not happy about that. I went back to Miami University. I took a class with the dean. He was teaching a class called Stochastic Systems. I did not like the class. And I would fall asleep in there. And one day he pulled me aside. He said, Juan, I want to see you after class. Dr. David Haddad. I said, oh man, I'm in trouble. What did I do? I didn't want to do this. I don't like this class. He said, Juan, I know you don't like my class, but I've been watching you. You know what? I think you'd be a good professor someday. And I said, really? He said, yes. So much so that if you got your PhD, I'd hire you. So I went and did research on what it was like to be a professor. And I started seeing all the things that professors do. And I said, that's my thing. But it was one thing I had to do, graduate school. So anyway, that's how I started my journey. I ended up going to work at NCR Corporation when I graduated. I went to school at night, got a master's degree. Then I left NCR and went full time to get my PhD. And while I was finishing my PhD, Dr. Haddad hired me as a visiting professor at Miami University. I graduated, started my career at Auburn University. I was there 9 years. Then I moved to Clemson University. I was there 5 years, and I'm here at the University of Florida. And I've been here 9 years, going on 10. So that's a little bit about me and how I got started.
Well, thank you. That is fantastic. That's wonderful, wonderful to hear. What do you see as the key elements of the promotion package from associate to full professor?
Yes, the key elements. First, understand the key elements for assistant is in most disciplines, you need to establish yourself as an independent researcher. And that means different things in different disciplines. So in some disciplines, it means establishing a well-funded research program. In other disciplines, it means publish a book. It means publishing journals, or it just depends on your discipline. So that's the assistant level. Now, when we go to associate professor to full, they want to see a continuation of that independence and establishment of a research profile. But there's also looking for leadership, engagement at a certain level, either state, national, international. It could vary from discipline to discipline, but you need to demonstrate some leadership. And that comes in different forms. You could be leading a committee, you could be leading national societies, you could be leading conference committees, things like that. So I would say probably one of the most notable things that is unexpected, people don't really think about, is the leadership category. Everyone understands I got to continue to be productive research-wise and just scaling that up. But yes, you want to be able to show some leadership.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you. Are you, and you've spoken to this a little bit, but are you aware of any other major distinctions in how promotion from associate to full is handled in different disciplines?
Yes, it just, again, you have to understand the dynamic. One of the things I recommend people to do, if you're considering the jump from associate to full and you're in a department, start looking at your department and others at other institutions. Identify someone who just was promoted. Grab their CV. Because now you know, you have an example of what it takes to get there at the point of time that it happened. That is an exercise that I encourage people to do to understand different disciplines and what it takes to get there. But some of those distinctions are, again, all of them will look for leadership, national, international, some demonstration of leadership, continued productivity research-wise. And then some of them disciplines are looking for service as a leader in the department, service as a leader in the discipline, serving on conference committees or chairing those. So there's some variation from discipline to discipline, but there are ways to find that out by looking at examples that were recently promoted and seeing what their credentials were.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, thank you very much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to speak with us. Greatly appreciate it. And your advice is wonderful. And again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Norman.